Okay, so does that mean what needs to be put down and what needs to be ready to step into? Well, whatever's coming. Whatever's coming, it's connected. Even if it seems like it's not connected. This is very interesting. Okay. In the Pluto position. Now, I do know that for Virgo and Taurus, it's been coming up that if they say too much to you, then they stand risking your gift, the surprise, the opportunity. They risk it being sabotaged by your enemies, right? If too much is said out loud, then it can't be pulled off. It's like hacking the system, right? So they might be keeping quiet about something for you. They're saying, like, they're daring to let you know, right? And at the same time, they're giving the all-seeing eye a hard time by not being specific. You might get it in private communications, but I'd be surprised if even that, because those can be hacked. I don't think we're, my God is a hacker God, and so the hacker God can get hacked. Pluto position. So your hidden wealth, right? Your magma. Because, and then we have Scorpio energy here, right? But your what you really have deep down, whether or not you even know it. But there is fire. That's why Mars co-rules Scorpius, because there's fire under the water, in the earth. There's the magma. Now is the time to let go of your fears. You've worked hard to gain control over your life, but your grasp may be too rigid. You got to do this Mother Earth's way, the magic way. It's good to maintain discipline, but your strength of purpose could block new levels of awareness. It may be time to give up your old ways of doing things. Preconceived notions just aren't working for you anymore. Willpower is not enough when other forces seem to be working against you. Discovering and accepting a new approach will solve your dilemma. Well, I can speak to that right now I'm actually going through exactly the Eight of Swords that I've been going through, for years, but they brought it to a head this month while I'm working on Taurus house in my astrology workbook, okay? I just finished reviewing the past 4 weeks or 3 weeks to see what was happening in the journal and to see if I could find, a story, yeah? And I found the Eight of Swords story, and it's repeated in multiple readings, even from other readers. Yeah, absolutely. Been brought to a tower moment, the same that I've been through before in the past, usually following moon cycles. It's been 4 years since I was in this similar position. And instead of what I'm doing this time is I'm doing things the creative way. I'm keeping my energy in the creative mode. I would love to go executive mode and just override that thinking and say, you know what, I'm going to put everything to the side right now because I need to look after a priori. I need to look after the practical. And what they're telling me is like, yeah, well, we brought you here again for this very reason. You're going to go deeper magic. This is the ultimate magic, okay? This is the whole point of Pentacles energy, is to pull these things together and not just be executive-minded. Going super magician, okay? To a scary degree. But that's the ultimate power, and that's when you win for the good side, okay? If we don't level up to this, we're not a threat. And why do we need to be a threat? Because there are children coming into this world that need somebody to have made an effort. I'd rather that nobody had to be a child that's vulnerable, but I didn't get to create this place. So yes, I'm staying in flow with my spirit guides and saying, yes, well, I've trusted you for everything else and I've followed you on everything else. And I know well enough, having been through this process before, what happens when I try to blend and mix. Not that I ever did anything wrong. It was all a learning process, right? But there's this person you're supposed to be, Capricorn. And in order to pull it off, we have to go through that portal that the enemy doesn't want us to go through. So whatever you've lost financially, because let's face it, that's what we're talking about right now. However frightening this is, you know how many miracles have been pulled off in your life. And you know yeah, this is not the time to hedge bets. I just canceled, I just gave my main client, which is like $1,000 a month, I just gave them, I was given an exit. The universe coordinated, my God and my guides coordinated an exit for me from a situation with them that's been ongoing for over 3 years that really needed to end. It needed to be. It was meant to be in their life. They were meant to be in mine. And then I needed a way out of it that didn't drag any skeletons out of their closets, right? And so the universe coordinated, well, not the universe is as much trouble as it is good, but my people coordinated something for me, and that was my surprise. And so I'm following them on that. And before I know what I'm walking into for financial security, I have to walk out of that one. And I know it. I've done it before. But the last time I panicked and I was scared and I lost a lot of energy and it didn't change anything. And there was still the hump to get over, and I lost all my flexibility of thinking, which is everything. I lost all my bounce, and therefore when I launched this business that I'm in now, my cleaning business, I had an awesome ad. I couldn't think of how to finance it the right way. If I'd had my flexibility of thinking, I would have been able to refinance the ad campaign so much differently and basically solve my problems, because it was a very successful ad, just not getting enough reach. Because I couldn't figure out, because I was too stuck in my thinking, I was too scared. You get too rigid when you're scared. And then months later, it all came to me. I'm like, oh shit. If I'd figured out how to override my fear factor, but then I had people around me that were scared. I'm the one, you're the one. We go ahead, and then what we do, we have to prove it always to the people in our lives by doing it first. And then even then, they're not us, and they don't go ahead and do the same thing. They just concede, and they're like, okay, you actually were right. But in the meantime, they're totally wreaking havoc on our progress because they're keeping the fear around us. And it's very expensive. Very expensive. Okay. So, if I could have blocked them out of my head, right? Step in your power. You're Capricorn, for God's sake. 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles are yours. So, I'm almost forgetting to get into Wild Kuan Yin, right? Let's review. Finding your way. Yep. Go with your heart, Capricorn. Again, but you know how to do that. Okay? You're going to go that way, which is exactly what I relied on. My bottom line was, okay, how do I know I'm doing the right thing? Now, should I be more flexible? No. I need out of the situation, and why? And I remembered what it was costing me in my relationships, especially in my partnership. Maybe not the same exactly for you, but your bottom line will be close to that. The Divine Mother's love. If we don't trust our divine connection, we can feel like a lost child, uncertain, insecure, and afraid. Yet when that child knows that the mother's always there. What was I crying about when you needed to know? The first part of this, before I read the part B to her sentence, and I was crying that you needed to hear from someone. When the child knows the mother's always there, waiting, naturally stepping in when needed, but otherwise trusting in the child's ability to live his own life. Then getting lost for a time is just part of the adventure. It's not frightening, it's freeing, right? The perspective on this situation, this tower, yes, this tower falling. There's been the tower, but we helped make that tower, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. To our credit, to your credit, okay? The accomplishment and victory. So a reminder for even the most hopeless of lost cases, you can find peace within the strangest of places. Strangest of times. Space-time. And thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost, so can be found. When the mother is right next to us. Kali visited me in my home. She made herself visible to me. So this person remember your heart, Capricorn. We've been here before. We've talked about this before. You have such an awesome heart, Capricorn. Such an awesome heart. Such an awesome heart you have, Capricorn. They're here. There's probably like so many spirit friends here. And you know them. As many stars. As many stars as are in that sky or more. Yes. And as many roots and branches and leaves. That's how many people. So, transformation, necessary change. Full Scorpio's energy, give this time. Give it Scorpio time. Because Scorpio is just good for horse trans. By the time you reach mid-December, okay, when the, let's say the 15th to the 20th, the 14th to the 20th, the 15th to the 21st, thereabouts. Is that what I want to say? The 12th to the, maybe the 13th or 14th to the 19th, the 18th, somewhere in there, okay? That'll be a good time to get beyond this transformative energy into the Sagittarius. Like, it's a good time for connecting with people and basically launching. And then the following mid-January will be good for finishing a project. And that might include launching it. But Sagittarius December might be about launching it. Okay? So if that's helpful at all, that's based on my astrology work. Okay? Much love, Capricorn. Thank you so much for this reading. What a gift this reading's been.